Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media users found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings. Hey guys, I'm back. Hope you're all doing well. Camping went really well. I have to say, upgrading the tent, best decision we ever made. There's so much more room.
So this is our campsite. Lots of countryside all the way around. Really beautiful. Luckily it stopped raining. We've got the dogs pegged into the ground. They've got one of these like corkscrews that keep them busy. Sadly can't do the same for the husband. So it's absolutely huge on the outside. You guys saw the size of my other tent. It is gigantic. And this is now our palace. You come in here. And we have got a massive, huge porch area. Yeah, we can just hang out here. It's got mesh doors to keep the bugs out. Not that we have a lot of bugs here. But look at that bedroom. We've got the dogs have got their lovely suite one side, and we've got our double blow up the other side. And yeah, it's just fantastic. It's so roomy that, yeah, best buy really. Oh, there's an unhappy Leela who is pegged into the ground with her sister who is Lucia. Hello, darling. Hello. You can say hello. Hello.
We had a whole living area, like I said last time. It lit up really well with fairy lights at night. I had a little bit of a disco going on. It was really good. It was actually a lot less stressful putting up a bigger tent than it was the smaller tent, and the same with packing it down. So my husband and I didn't actually have our normal camping trip argument. However, we didn't go exactly incident free. Those of you that follow me on Twitter will know this, but those of you that don't, I'll share. First of all, we have my embarrassment. The dogs have got tangled up. We have a corkscrew to pin them into the ground. So they've got these huge long leads so they can walk around, but they can't go too far. So anyway, they get knotted up, you know, they're dogs, they walk around each other. So there I am on my hands and knees undoing them. Now Leela recently, it's a dominance thing I've been told, she humps, she lady humps our other dog Lucia, and it's okay when it's in the house. Not when you're in a camping field. And there was a group of guys that I chatted to before that had arrived earlier in the evening, young lads, you know, mucking around, and they were drinking and stuff. So anyway, I'm down on my hands and knees and I'm trying to untangle the two dogs. Next minute I hear R. Kelly's Little Bit of Bump and Grind being blasted out across the campsite towards my direction at max volume. So everyone is now looking. I turn around and Leela and Lucia were at it behind me. So that was kind of embarrassing for me. And then my husband takes the embarrassment crown. My husband doesn't suffer small talk. He's one of those people. I talk enough for both of us, as he tells me and everyone else, and it's true. He's quiet except with me, if that makes sense. He just doesn't do that whole general chit chat. How nice is the weather stuff? He can't be bothered with it. But it does mean that sometimes he can be socially awkward when on the spot. So what happened was I went to the bathroom, was walking back, and I saw we had new neighbours, and there was a young couple that had turned up. They had a dog, and I just saw her walking away with her dog, and my husband pretty much had his head in his hands. So by the time I got over there, he's now kind of cringing. I said, what did you do? And he started telling me, and you can see here from this picture that he's gone a bit red. The long and short of it is the lady came over, wanted to meet my dogs, introduce her dogs. My two dogs obviously started sniffing her female dog's bottom and cooch, her lady bits, and my husband turned around and looked at them and then awkwardly looked up at the woman and said, oh, thankfully we don't have to say hello like that. Apparently she just kind of went, grabbed her dog and walked away. So yeah, my husband took the crown off of me for that moment. But all in all, it was amazing. It's really great to have even just a few days away from life, and we're going again in a couple of weeks, so I'll keep you posted. So yesterday was the 31st of August, and it was actually the 23rd year since Diana's passing. I can't believe it's been 23 years. I was only a young child myself when I remember it coming up in the news, and I ran upstairs to tell my parents. Social media was awash with lots of photographs of Diana. It must be very tough for William and Harry, with the world always reminding them every single year, because Diana was absolutely loved and adored. Speaking of which, Harry and William are set to reunite next year on the 1st of July 2021. It will be the unveiling of Diana's statue, which between the two brothers, no doubt with someone else's input, they have commissioned, and it will be revealed. It's going to be in the Kensington Palace, Sunken Gardens. I think it's really nice that they're doing a statue statue of Diana. She was much loved by many. I really, see, this is the only thing. I really hope that it's just William and Harry that go to the opening ceremony. I love Catherine. She's wonderfully supportive of William, and she would be absolutely amazing for him to be there. But if she's there, Meghan will be there. And it's got nothing to do with Meghan personally. I just think that the newspapers will turn it into something different. They will turn it into Meghan's body language, Catherine's body language. They will literally run stories that at one moment the camera took a photograph and Harry was kind of, do you know, there's always going to be something, and I think the media will really ruin that moment. Plus the fact, given the fact that Meghan does like to be star of the show, I wouldn't be too surprised if she came dressed in one of Diana's old outfits, wearing all of Diana's jewellery that she's managed to gather over her relationship with Harry. I know that probably sounds a bit harsh to some of you, but it's not like Meghan's not attention seeking at the most best of times. It was reported that she actually went on their first date wearing Diana's favourite perfume. I really think that Diana would be truly heartbroken at the relationship that is now William and Harry's. I don't think that if Diana had been around that this would have happened. One, obviously because Harry wouldn't have spent his life, you know, being so angry, and well, he might well have been, who knows, but you know, and then found a mother figure in Meghan. I think she's definitely manipulated his loss and grief that he has for his mother and played him like a fiddle. For William and Harry to have a chance to reconcile, I'd imagine that would be it. The statue is also going to be when Diana would have been 60, which is crazy, isn't it? It's been that many years now since she's passed, and Harry is still using it to his advantage, which is kind of sad. I think that definitely is going to put the kind of hankers on a reunion with William and Harry, when Harry seems to still be using the Diana card to gain publicity especially. So over in LA, rather than having a quiet day or maybe going out to dinner or something nice with Meghan and Archie, you know, the ghost child, Harry and Meghan have done an appearance at a school. They were helping them replant a garden. They chose to plant forget-me-nots in memory of Princess Diana because they were her favourite flowers. The school said that it was a surprise, a nice surprise for the children. That to me just screams that, oh, I take it Meghan and Harry's PR team rang them up on the day and said, can we come along for a photo opportunity? And that to me is sadly what it is. And I just find it very much stage set up, isn't it? Meghan is, you know, predominantly the main person in the photograph. Harry is in the background, which is what we're seeing in a lot of the photographs now. Meghan is front and centre. She's gesturing to the child to pour water onto the seeds. And I just thought, why on earth, if they wanted to do something nice for Diana, that would have been a really lovely gesture if they'd just gone quietly and done it. But the fact that they're taking their own photographer to these and the pictures are being released, they are using other people's children to promote themselves, and I find that incredibly wrong. And also the fact that, you know, with Diana with the forget-me-nots, it's a nice memory for Harry, of course it is, and if that's how he wants to commemorate his mother's anniversary, fine, but don't use it as a publicity. Don't take a photographer, don't sell the photographs, don't copyright them. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So Harry is going to miss playing polo with William this year. Harry has been quoted saying that he will only come back to the UK if necessary. That's a bit of an ouch to the Queen, really, isn't it? I'm presuming that they mean that when their 31st of March renewal's up, then that will be, you know, completely necessary for them to come back and to hang on to that dukedom with every ounce of strength that they have. So Harry and William have played for this particular polo match. It's the King's Power Royal Polo Charity event. Forgive me if I get that all, it's one big mouthful. But they have played in this for years and they raise millions. They play against each other and they always raise a lot of money for charities close to their own heart. But to be honest with you, the way Harry is now and the negative kind of criticism that he attracts and draws, I don't think he's going to be that badly missed. William has become even more popular now, and I think that he'll still draw the fans in. People will come to watch our future king play, really. It is, however, another reminder of everything that Harry has given up. In Finding Freedom, Omid Scobie does go on to talk about, I'm doing a Meghan there, aren't I? Sorry. Omid Scobie does go on to talk about that everything that Meghan gave up. You know, this has been a narrative before, hasn't it? Meghan sold this narrative as well. Everything that she gave up. And when it turns out, what did she really give up? She had a rental house, a rental car. So that's not really, no biggie. The charity that she gave up working with, was it World Vision? She only used them a couple of times when she was in the process of snaring Harry. So they were quite easy to get rid of. She ditched one of her agents but kept her business management team. They're the ones that have been making a lot of decisions, and hence why she has been clashing with courtiers since she joined the family. She kept her business. They've moved that to Delaware. What was it, Frim Fram? And she has also kept her TIG blog. Okay, it's not been active, but she's now working behind the scenes to get that ready to relaunch at some point. So I'm really failing to see what she actually gave up. She got everything she wanted and more. And Harry, however, he's the one that gave up all of his family. He's given up all of his friends. He's given up his love of polo, hunting, all the sports that he used to do. I mean, hunting's not too bad, to be honest with you, but you know, just going shooting and stuff. And he gave up literally everything that you can imagine. He gave up his military ranks, just basically any sort of prominence he had in the royal family. He gave up that role. He's given up, he hasn't seen any of his charities. So it's no wonder that this recent kind of cheeky shot that someone's taken of Harry and Meghan sitting in a restaurant, that he looks so miserable. So you can see from this picture that it's not a set up pap shop, basically. She looks grumpy as hell. She looks like she's moaning at him, and he has a face like thunder, as he does in most of the photographs we see of him now anyway. Prince Harry is reportedly upset that he cannot visit his family in Balmoral. He's put it down to the travel restrictions because of the certain bug, and I think it's utter BS. If he wanted to come over here, he could have done, couldn't he? He could get on a private plane. People are still going in and out of America. He is married to obviously Meghan, so she is a US citizen. He would have his son staying behind, because we know damn well that Archie's never going to set foot on UK soil ever again. If he really wanted to come see the Queen, he would have done it, wouldn't he? As he said in his own words, he will only come here if necessary. What an absolute kick in the face to his 94-year-old grandma, his 99-year-old grandfather. Saying that, though, I can't imagine that Philip particularly wants to see him. Philip, probably the amount of drama that the actress has brought to the royal family and the amount of stress it's probably put on the Queen. It's not the best way that they could have ended up spending their twilight years, especially with all the stuff that came up with a certain other son. So Harry's saying that he misses them, but he didn't go to Sandringham last year. I don't think they even bothered responding to the Queen. The Queen actually had to phone them to find out what they were doing. They ignored her. They didn't go to Balmoral last year because Archie was too young, but they were happy to fly him to Ibiza and to Elton John's in the south of France. So again, with these guys, they just lie, don't they? And as I said, Harry blaming it on travel restrictions, it's utter BS. I know people that have come over from the States and have gone back home. Okay, there's probably quarantine sort of things that they have to do in place and measures, but it's not like Harry's got a real job, is it? So Omid has been back in the news. He's, you know, popping up like a scary whack-a-mole. Pretty much the same as Harry and Meghan. Whack-a-mole, you know, the game that you play in the arcades. Anyway, I don't know why I'm doing that. You know what I mean. But he's popped up threatening us that Harry and Meghan are going to come back to the UK next year. Oh, what have we done to deserve that? We obviously know that they're potentially going to come back, or Harry definitely will, because of the Megxit review. I do hope, for the royal family's sake, for the continuation of the monarchy, that they seriously take the dukedom off of Harry. You can't strip title of Meghan because the title actually sits with Prince Harry. So obviously the dukedom, I don't think he deserves it. Meghan has the honorary sort of title from being married to the Duke. That's why she's called the Duchess. So the Queen hasn't really got anything to strip from her. So will she strip the dukedom away from one of her favourite grandsons? Let's be honest, if we weigh it up, look how long it took her to do anything with Andrew, and it was only because of absolute public outcry that she did anything at all. Omid said that they want to come back and visit their patronages, and I'm sorry, I don't think that they deserve to keep those patronages. How can you have UK charities and patronages that rely on that kind of royal connection with them living up like Hollywood celebrities in LA? It doesn't work, does it? I know for a fact that the National Theatre are very unhappy with having Meghan as their patron. It always should have gone to Edward. He loved being part of the stage. He's got a great passion for theatre. Meghan, I'm sorry, apart from the fact that she was in Suits, she's a terrible actress. She's not a great actress. She's never been on stage outside of, like, well, school. Everything that's been happening, well, because of this bug, you know, it's really damaged the entertainment industry and the theatre, and they just really deserve someone that will be there in the UK campaigning for them. Meghan hasn't done anything for any of them. The only thing that she publicises now are things that are going on stateside. It's all stuff for self-promotion, isn't it? So no, the patronages need to be taken away as well as the dukedom, in my opinion. Newspapers have reported on the fact that Harry and Meghan are now setting their sights to jump into another lily pad. What's it going to be next week? Astronauts, brain surgeons? But they are they are going to be producers. They have apparently been pushing for a show. So the fact that they have been trying to push this since June and they've had no takers yet, that's not really saying a lot, is it? The Hollywood executives aren't quite that desperate yet. Apparently Prince Harry has been putting his hand to script writing, according to this blind here. I can only dread to think it's got to be all comedies. As I said, I don't know how many of these are true, but could you imagine what Harry could write for a script? Oh dear. And then you've got to think as well, with them being producers, they've got no money behind them. Obviously they're rich, they're loaded, they got money from Charles, but can you see Charles like paying for them? You know, producers generally have a lot of money if they're going to do something off their own back. I just can't see anyone would be wanting to work with them. Meghan's a complete diva. They sue everyone that they're not happy with. Harry on camera is just monotonous and just, he's become really pompous and preachy and boring. And Meghan is just so candy floss fake. She puts my teeth on edge. I mean, what was it, the Disney documentary where she did the voiceover? It was bloody horrific in places, you know. Look, they're having a pool party, yay! You can just hear the fakeness of it all. It was just completely over-egged, over-hammed, whatever you wish to call it. It was OTT. These two literally jump from one subject to another subject, like within days apart. Harry obviously still keeping his links to the UK nice and tight. He did a video call for the Rugby League. It was their 125th birthday anniversary, I guess you'd call it. And Harry spoke about endurance. He reminded us about the fact that he was in the army for a whole 10 years, so he knows all about endurance. A whole 10 years, well done. I'm surprised they were taking calls from him, to be honest with you, after him getting involved in that silly nonsense about having Swing Low's Sweet Chariot removed. Harry himself has been pretty much a few pints in, singing along to that song many a year, but since he's been with Meghan, no, everything's racist, everything must change. He was asked in a video, how is he enjoying his new life? To which Harry responds, he's incredibly happy. He is fantastic. Sorry, I struggle to believe Harry on this because every time we see him, he looks like a hobo, doesn't he? He's wearing a polo shirt. Again, that seems to be his favourite staple out in California. But he just looks like he needs to brush his hair. He needs a really good shave. He looks like he needs to seriously have his teeth, you know, just brush your teeth, have a shower. He's not presentable on the videos, and he always looks like to me that he's had a big Bob Marley reefer. He's lost all the sparkle behind his eyes. His skin's grey. He looks tired. He's got bags under his eyes all the time. And I just think he just looks like that he needs to stop doing whatever it is he's doing. So finishing up my video, I'm going to do an appeal for Harry. I've come up with the idea for this appeal because of watching the video chat that he did with the Rugby League. He stated in the video that he found it hard to be able to find rugby balls for Archie. So I didn't want to have an appeal for lots of balls to be sent to Harry's address because we know that Meghan likes to keep them under lock and key. But what I thought we could do is maybe do a GoFundMe to send someone over there to teach him how to use the internet, because most people on Twitter manage to find rugby balls who live in the United States of America within seconds flat of reading that news. But it's not entirely Harry's fault, is it? I mean, he's only occasionally allowed out of the dungeon, so I'd imagine that when he does get the internet, his access is pretty restricted and monitored. So I'll be back with you guys for another video very soon. Take care, bye!
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typists, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.